Well, hockey fans, it's week two of the preview of the upcoming 2019-2020 NHL season. We're doing this division by division, and this week is all about the Eastern Conference's other division, the Metropolitan division. I love that division. It has the distinction of being the NHL's only All-American division. By that I mean no Canadian-based teams. Uh, it's uh, it's also a modern version of the old Patrick division. Of course, the Atlantic division is a modern version of the old Adams division, and it maintains a lot of the rivalries from the Patrick division. Of course, you have the Pennsylvania teams, the Pennsylvania teams, the New York teams, the Washington Capitals made up the original Patrick division, and the Metropolitan division is basically those six, along with the Carolina Hurricanes and Columbus Blue Jackets. And it's been a the division's been pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy last season. First off, let's start with Washington. Of course, Washington last year was coming off winning the Stanley Cup. The question was, are they going to do it again? And of course, in the wide open NHL, repeats are kind of rare, even though Pittsburgh did it. I'll get to them a little bit later. But Washington responded. They had a strong showing in that series against Carolina, but they fell short. They lost that double overtime home game. So the romance is over. They were dethroned as Stanley Cup champions. So what are they going to do this year? It should be very interesting. Um, because I see Washington and Pittsburgh are like have been the standard bearers in the Eastern Conference for the last number of years. Even though Pittsburgh's been doing all the winning, while Ovechkin had trouble until 2 seasons ago. And speaking, I'm getting to Pittsburgh. The Penguins um, have been a constant in the NHL for the last about near a decade and a half. They have the longest uh, playoff streak in the NHL. They have made the playoffs every year, beginning with the 2006-07 season, which is Sidney Crosby's second in the league. 13-year streak. This past season, however, saw the Penguins make it in with a third place finish in the division, only to be swept by the Islanders. So, um, so we don't know what's going to happen with the Penguins this upcoming season. And speaking of the Islanders are on the rise. They hired Barry Trotz this past season, who coached Washington's next Stanley Cup, and now the Islanders have become this kind of juggernaut. Now they got they had two good goalies in Leonard and Grice, and they had a great scorer in Brock Nelson and Jordan Eberle, who they nailed down. So, so the Islanders, that's going to be a fun team to watch, especially now that they've become this kind of perennial playoff team and can make some noise. The Hurricanes. The Hurricanes were the big story out of the Metropolitan Division. The Hurricanes had the longest playoff drought in the NHL, which ended last season when they made the playoffs for the first time in a decade. And they got a deep run out of it. They ousted the defending champs. They swept the Islanders, who swept Pittsburgh, but they ended up swept themselves by the Boston Bruins, who went on to win the Eastern Conference. So now those kind of stories, when a team hasn't made the playoffs in that much, when a team that hasn't made the playoffs in X amount of years suddenly makes it, goes in this deep run, the question is asked. One has to wonder if they're gonna come close to repeating that success or even go farther. And time will tell. I mean, Carolina has a hell of a team. Well, Don Cherry called them a bunch of jerks, but that was out of hatred. Of course, they took that nickname, they took that moniker with pride, and ran all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's amazing. Now on to the latter half of the division. Let's start with the Rangers. The Rangers, the Rangers are a mystery. I don't know what it is with these MSG teams. The Knicks are bad, and the Rangers are disappointment. However, They have been getting some players in the offseason, so who knows? They might make some noise. Columbus. Well, I said the last half, but I forgot about Columbus. Columbus had the best season ever. They finally won a playoff series. Even better, they beat the team that won 62 games. And even better than that, they swept said team. They finally won a playoff series for the first time in franchise history. They were the last team left that hadn't won a postseason series. Matter of fact, before this past season, they hadn't won more than 2 playoff games in a single season. They won a grand total of 6 because they gave Boston some fits in that second round series. But unfortunately for them, even though they had the best season ever, they lost far too many players. Shane's gone. Bobrovsky's gone. Uh, 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 I read Panarin's gone. They lost too many key players. It's ridiculous. Only Cam Atkinson's left, and I think this could be it. Well, the little playoff streak could be coming to an end. We don't know. But it was a great season the Blue Jackets had, greatest ever. But it might be all for nothing. The Flyers. Flyers finally fired Dave Hackstall. I think during last season, but it wasn't enough to really get him in. And one has to wonder. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised Claude Giroux hasn't left that team yet. Now that I think about it, he's like their best player. He hasn't. He hasn't left. Pierre Edouard Belmar, however, he's out of there. He went to the Avalanche. But something needs to change. Something needs to change for the Flyers because Philadelphia can only put up with so much failure and nonsense. They got the Sixers, and Philly lost Nick Foles. The Phillies are a disappointment, and the Flyers need to get things going, or else there's gonna be turmoil. And I have to talk about the New Jersey Devils. If any team, if any of the four, if any of the 3 Metropolitan teams that missed the playoffs, if there's ever a winner that won the off season out of those 3, it's New Jersey. After all they got was a man named by the name of Pernell Carl Subban. That's right. PK is in New Jersey. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. First off, as an Avalanche fan, I'm glad he's out of the Central. And now he's in New Jersey. And the number 1 draft pick, Jack Hughes. Woo! It's going to be interesting. Which brings me to the burning questions regarding the Metropolitan Division. Number 1, will the Devils make the playoffs? Easy answer. Yes. Yes, they will. Devils are going to be in the playoffs. That's my early playoff prediction right there. The Devils are going to be in the playoffs. They have, some say it's the best defenseman in the league. They got a blue chipper as a number 1 draft pick. They are going to kick ass. I really think so. If they don't make the playoffs, they're going to make noise in that race up until early April, that first week of April. But I say they're going to get in. Full playoff predictions in a few weeks, but they're getting in. Number two. Pittsburgh. Is this the end? Some say it is. I'm not going to say that just yet. As long as they have Crosby, that streak will continue. However, they did lose Phil Kessel. That surprised me. Phil Kessel ended up going to the Coyotes. I'll get to them later, and get to them 2 weeks later on my Pacific Division preview. But I don't know. Some analysts will probably say it might be the beginning of the end. They might have Pittsburgh actually missing the playoffs for the first time since Sidney Crosby's rookie year. I don't think so. I think they're gonna be back in the playoffs as long as they have Sidney Crosby and a few other pieces like Evgeny Malkin and Matt Murray. They'll be playing hockey in mid to late April at least, if not most of May, but they'll be. And the third burning question: Washington. Will they get back? Well, the question that was answered for us this past season, and no, they didn't get back. But will they get back? Will they get back this year? They're good enough. They're still good enough too, but I don't know because I mentioned in my Atlantic Division preview, Boston's kind of a big deal now. So it's pretty much between Pittsburgh, Washington, and Boston, the Atlantic. But again, I will delve more into that when I give my predictions in a few weeks. But so that's my preview of the Metropolitan Division. Next week, the next 2 weeks, I will do the Central and the Pacific in that order. Tomorrow, I will recap the first week of the 2019 NFL season. So with that, I say good evening, and only a few weeks until the madness as the NHL season